afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael Ducharme, President of the Galena Territory Association Board of Directors. Welcome to the 49th annual meeting. It is so nice to see all of you today. The Board of Directors and GTA staff are excited to share our accomplishments during the past year and provide a preview of what's to come in 2024. All of us are committed to you, our members, to ensure this is a community that is relevant, inviting, and an inclusive place to live, work, visit, and play. We strive to improve our operations to make the best use of the annual assessment we are entrusted to oversee. This past year, we celebrated the 50th anniversary, and we need to continue to do the work to improve our facilities and amenities to ensure that the next 50 years will be just as memorable. The Territory is a special place because of the lifestyle it offers and because of the amenities that are provided to all of our members. Before we begin, I would ask everyone to mute their phone for the duration of the meeting. Also, please look around and take note of the location of the emergency exits. I hope you picked up a copy of the annual meeting booklet at registration. If you do not have one, please raise your hand and a staff member will provide you with a copy. I would like to review our agenda for today. We will officially call the meeting to order and then approve the 2024 annual meeting agenda and last year's annual meeting minutes. After that, I will provide an update, followed by a report from the Galena Territory Foundation. There will also be reports on financial data from our treasurer, Greg Roper. The GTA Executive Management Team will cover operations and administration, facilities, maintenance, and architectural review. There will also be senior staff reports for recreation, Shenandoah Riding Center, natural resources, and green space, as well as Lake Galena and Marina. Finally, we will hear from General Manager Steve Weiland about the amenity master plan and the Marina Park Improvement Project. As time permits, we will have an open question and answer session near the end of the meeting for you to ask questions. We will then get to our last order of business, the announcement of the Board of Directors elections results. We have 4 candidates running for 3 open positions this year. Each is a 3-year term. We will soon know who will represent all of us on the board. Also this year, there are 3 proposed bylaw amendments. The first is to allow the association the ability to request reimbursement for legal fees and other costs in the extreme cases when violation disputes require legal proceedings and which don't involve assessment collections. The second is to change the maximum number of committee members from 5 to 7, while the third is to change the maximum number of commission members from 9 to 11. We'll see if the proposed amendments were approved or denied. Following the meeting, you are all invited to join us for the reception directly downstairs where the vendors were this morning. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank our annual meeting sponsors: Eagle Ridge Realty, Eagle Ridge Resort and Spa, First Community Bank of Galena, F.S. Stevenson Service Company, Helm Civil, and Prairie Ridge of Galena. We greatly appreciate their support. Since there is a quorum present, I would like to officially call this meeting to order. At this time, I ask that all election ballots be collected. If anyone has not turned in their ballot, please raise your hand and staff will collect them. The polls are officially closed. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the members of your 2023 Board of Directors. I ask that each board member please stand when I introduce you and remain standing. I would ask the audience to please hold your applause until all the board members are introduced. I serve as president. Joe White is vice president. Greg Roper is treasurer. Greg Pierce is secretary. We also have Gary Binder, Marianne Bogacki, Kathy Gallagher, John Perry, and Craig Thompson. Thanks to all of you. I would also like to introduce Doug Surrey, Corporation Counsel for the Association. Doug and his firm have done an outstanding job representing the GTA. Thank you, Doug. Next, I have the pleasure to introduce General Manager Steve Weiland. Steve has been a great asset to the association. Thank you, Steve. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the 4 board candidates who are on this year's ballot. Please stand as I introduce you. Colleen Dugan, Greg Roper, Chris Siegel, and Frank Vampire. Thank you. We appreciate your commitment to the Galena Territory Association. Next, we need to approve the agenda for today's meeting. If you make a motion or second a motion from the floor, please identify yourself by name and territory address for the record. Do I have a motion to approve the 2024 annual meeting agenda? Is there a second?
Second.
Address? We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Let the record show that the 2024 annual meeting agenda has been approved. Next, we need to approve the minutes from last year's meeting, which are located on page 3 of the annual meeting booklet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the February 25th, 2023 annual meeting? Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor of said motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Let the record show that the 2023 annual meeting minutes have been approved. As president of the board, I would like to share a few thoughts. Last year was a busy year at the association. The Marina Park Improvement Project officially got underway, and we celebrated our 50th anniversary. We also conducted our biannual member survey. We conduct this survey every other year. It provides us with the demographic, amenity use, and service use information. This information allows us to better understand our association. Now let's take a look at a few things the board worked on in 2023. The board is responsible for the governance of the association. It approves the policy and sets the direction. Staff handles the day-to-day operations. Annually, the board deals with governance issues in several ways. In 2023, the board created one new policy, the consultant contract review policy, and reviewed 25 of 48 total policies. 2024 is a quiet year with only 15 scheduled for review. A few changes were made to rules, regulations, and guidelines, including changes specifically to the architectural review process as it pertains to Section 9 of the Architectural Guidelines and Review Procedures. As you are aware, there is a fine involved for starting construction on a home or other structure before receiving approval from the Architectural Review Committee. The committee recommended that the fine for starting a home without approval be based on the size of the home, and the fine for other structures to be set at $580. This also includes a stop work order notice and a daily fine for failure to cease operations. Another change included the addition of guidelines for signage concerning security systems and pet control, otherwise known as an underground fence. There was also the approval of the off-leash area for pets, which Natural Resources Coordinator Emily Lubke will speak to in a bit, as well as the change to allow beverages chairside at the pool, but not poolside or in the pool. Recreation and Lifestyle Coordinator Jason Weigard will address this later. I also I would like to take this moment to thank the board. I'm not sure everyone understands or appreciates the time and commitment that these volunteers make to help direct the association. These property owner volunteers spend countless hours working on your behalf. In 2023, there were 13 board meetings, 9 workshops, and 2 town hall meetings. That doesn't include committee, commission, or advisory group assignments. These are selfless volunteers, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Galena Territory Foundation Vice President Dar Howell. Dar?
Thank you, Mike. I am speaking on behalf of the Galena Territory Foundation President, Olivia Maple, who cannot be with us here today. I first want to thank the GTA Board and President Mike Ducharme, as well as General Manager Steve Weiland, for allowing us this time to speak with our members today. Allow me to give you a brief background. The Galena Territory Foundation was initially founded in 2000 to provide a charitable 501c3 organization for what was then called the Education and Scholarship Commission to be able to do its work. Our foundation's mission is to serve as a charitable organization for education-based activities organized by the Galena Territory property owners for the benefit of the community. Our foundation's responsibilities are to monitor and approve fundraising activities, to receive, hold, and administer various gifts, to oversee investments, to review and approve disbursements, and to protect the nonprofit status of the foundation. The foundation has since grown to include 3 separate charitable commissions. They are the Belgium School Preservation Commission, whose mission is to recognize and promote the historical legacy of the school through preservation for the benefit of future generations. Second is the Education and Scholarship Commission, whose mission is to award scholarships and promote educational opportunities for students in our 3 school districts, the Galena, Scales Mound, and River Ridge. And third is the Richard Peterson EMT Endowment Fund Commission, whose mission is to provide funding for emergency and medical service education and training in the Scales Mound Fire Protection District and the Galena Area Emergency Medical Service District. Now I'd like to bring your attention to the trifold brochure that was on your seat when you arrived today. Many of you should have that. This brochure represents a first for the Galena Territory Foundation, and we are very excited about it. Never before have we had all the important information about our foundation and its 3 commissions in one handout. We are also introducing our new GTF logo with this brochure. This provides a communication piece that enhances our ability to spread the word about the charitable work being done by our 3 commissions. I ask that you take a few minutes to read about the work that we do. We invite you to scan the QR code, it's on the back, where you can find additional information about the foundation, including our formal mission statements. The GTF Board of Directors continues to work on goals that stem from a strategic process held in 2020 called a SWOT analysis. This entailed looking at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. From that process, the GTF Board identified 2 areas of weakness that need to be strengthened: communications and financial reporting and record keeping. Our goal is to focus on communications both internally with our members and externally with the public, as well as improve the quality of our financial reporting and record keeping. Once the goals were set and timelines devised, 2 advisory commissions were created: the Social Media and Marketing and Archive and Records. This year, the Social Media and Marketing will focus on reaching a broader audience and sharing our mission. Archives and Records will develop standards to ensure we have consistent record keeping and a plan for preserving our artifacts. These advisory commissions each have 2 GTF board members and 1 member from each of the 3 commissions. The advisory commissions will be kept in place until the GTF Board of Directors feels that they have achieved their overall purpose and mission. Speaking to you today is one of the goals of the Social Media and Marketing Advisory Commission, as we work to increase the awareness of our foundation and its commissions. If you weren't aware, all property owners are automatically members of the Galena Territory Foundation. We welcome your input, creativity, and fresh ideas, and invite you to join us in our efforts in one of several ways. Become a volunteer and join one of our 3 commissions. Become a volunteer docent at Belgium School. Make a donation to your favorite commission or the GTF General Fund. Take a CPR class when offered by the Richard Peterson EMT Endowment Fund Commission. Talk to a GTF board member or email us to learn more. In closing, we would like to personally meet all of you this year at a foundation reception to be held at the new Marina Pavilion. Keep an eye out on the foundation section of the GTA website and in the Territory Times for more information. On behalf of our entire Galena Territory Foundation, I thank you for your support. And now I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Thank you, Dar. Now on to GTA business, specifically financials. As we are all aware, the financial performance of the association is crucial to our success. Treasurer Greg Roper will explain our performance over the past year. Greg?
Thank you, Mike. My job today is to review the 2023 financial results. I'm pleased to report that the association ended the year in a solid financial position. Auditors O'Connor and Brooks gave the GTA an unmodified or clean opinion. This means that the GTA financial statements are presented fairly in conformity with the U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. The audited financial statement is printed in its entirety in the meeting booklet beginning on page 9. Let's talk about some of the operating financial details. First, let me remind you that the Galena Territory Association, or the GTA, is the property owner association entity, and the Galena Trading Corporation, or GTC, is our for-profit subsidiary. GTA ended the year $536,000 ahead of budget, excluding the gain from the subsidiary. GTC ended the year $3,000 ahead of budget. So on a combined basis, GTA and GTC ended 2023 ahead of budget by $539,000. Let's take a look at some of the key drivers of that performance. Revenues for GTA were over budget by $37,000. That is after an accounting adjustment to write off $95,000 for the loss on the disposal of fixed assets. This was the remaining book value of the Marina Building and Marina Park site assets. So in actuality, revenues were up over $130,000. There are a couple of reasons for this. First, the current real estate market augmented documentation fees charged when properties change hands and architectural review fees when property owners build new homes and improve their properties. There is a real estate report in your packet that shows 181 properties changed hands in 2023. Second, General Manager Weiland and President Sharm met with the bank to negotiate a better interest rate on investments with the repurchase agreements. Based on good working relationship, the bank agreed to move funds into higher interest certificates of deposit within the repurchase agreements. Increasing those earnings pushed interest income $37,000 over budget in 2023. Great job. Expenses were under budget by nearly $500,000. The primary driver was salaries and benefits, which were under budget by $285,000, and that was even under $240,000 as expenses, which was really well done. Depreciation was under budget by almost $140,000 due to our inability to complete capital purchases. GTC operations met the budgeted surplus in 2023, ending the year with a profit of $162,000, $3,000 ahead of budget. The Marina managed to exceed budget by $10,000, despite the fact that the bait and tackle shop closed early to accommodate the start of the Marina Improvement Park project. Shenandoah Riding Center had its best year to date, ending the year with a profit of $107,000, nearly $83,000 ahead of budget. The Owners Club Cafe had a banner year, exceeding budget by $9,000. The Maintenance Services Department ended the year with a surplus of $71,000, which was $116,000 behind budget. This is directly related to the inability to fill vacant seasonal positions. Now that the full-time staffing issues appear to be resolved, this department should meet its budget goals for 2024. Again, GTA and GTC combined ended 2023 ahead of budget by $539,000. Next, let's look at capital expenditures for 2023. Unfortunately, our inability to hire a facilities manager impacted capital purchases. 11 purchases or projects were carried over into 2024 as a result. Excluding those 11 carryover purchases, staff was able to purchase the balance of the items at a savings of $9,000 for budget, and $63,000 of capital contingency funds went unspent, for a total of nearly $75,000. The inability to purchase trucks and security squads worked to our advantage in the long run. Based on a recommendation from the Budget and Finance Commission, GM Steve Weiland researched the cost effectiveness of leasing vehicles instead of purchasing them. After deciding to proceed, Steve was able to negotiate a lease with Enterprise. It was agreed to lease 6, which were intended to be purchased in 2022, 2023, and 2024. Assuming that it is successful, leasing should save the association upwards of $600,000 over the next 10 years. Excluding projects carried over to this year, major repairs and replacements, or MR&R, capital projects came in $25,000 less than planned. It is important to note that unused monies remain in each respective fund. We are off to an effective start with purchases and projects for the year. The three mowers budgeted for GTC were procured earlier this month, coming in $4,000 under budget. The new horse trailer was delivered this week to SRC, and the outdoor arena fence MR&R project will be completed in early March. Bids were received for the water slide replacement project for the outdoor pool, and staff is negotiating the agreement to proceed with the work, hopefully during the upcoming summer season. Stay tuned for updates on the progress of the remaining items budgeted for this year. The GTA utilizes the fund accounting financial approach, which requires that the assessments collected from the 3,272 properties be segregated and reported separately in the financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Fund accounting restricts the use of property owners' assessments for their intended purpose and provides a level of transparency to the following 4 major funds. The operating fund is utilized to maintain, preserve, and manage GTA properties and to provide services for members as authorized by the Board of Directors and perform GTA's administrative functions. The combined operating cash at the end of 2023 was $2.9 million. The MR&R fund is where money accumulates to pay for major repairs and replacements of existing GTA real common properties and facilities. The reserve balance ended the year at $1.2 million. This total only includes a small portion of the 2024 assessment of $890,000. The long-range planning fund is used for planning and making additions and improvements to the GTA's common real property. The long-range planning fund ended 2023 with a cash balance of about $187,000. The debt retirement fund is used to repay money borrowed by the GTA. Long-term debt decreased by $699,000 from $1.2 million to $485,000 due to a principal payment. The Budget and Finance Commission also recommended a revision to a board policy to allow operating cash in excess of 10% of operating expenses to be considered by the board to reduce future operating assessments to members as a part of the budget process. This change allows the board to make last-minute adjustments to assessments prior to the final approval of the budget. The board took advantage of this new policy when approving the 2024 budget because operating cash was forecasted at 18%. The board was able to decrease the operating fund assessment by $340,000 and increase the contributions to the major repair and replacements fund for the corresponding amount. This addressed a future forecast funding shortfall in MR&R identified by the Budget and Finance Commission without raising assessments. The strong position of the 4 funds clearly indicates the financial well-being of our association. To summarize, the association has a strong balance sheet showing a combined net worth of $19.3 million, exceeded its loan covenants, exceeded budget by $539,000 for 2023 operations, and the appraised value of common properties is nearly $46 million. Clearly, the association is on strong financial footing and is well positioned for the future. I want to thank the members of the Budget and Finance Commission. They did an outstanding job of raising issues to be considered and working through them. I would also like to thank the GTA staff for their efforts and the board for its support. That's all I have. Back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Our financial performance is a confirmation that we are on the right path and that our vision will be applicable in the years to come. It allows us to be a relevant, inviting, and inclusive place to live, work, visit, and play. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the GTA Executive Management Team. They work with the board to ensure staff is working towards our strategic plan goals in all they do. I'd ask you to please stand after I announce your name. The team consists of General Manager Steve Weiland, Operation Manager Susan Miller, Accountant Sarah Funston, and our new Facilities Manager Paul Vituli. I'd like to ask staff to give an update on our strategic plan goals, beginning with Susan Miller, who will start with the first goal, deliver operational excellence. Susan?
Thanks, Mike, and good afternoon. My job today is to review the goal to deliver operational excellence, which consists of 4 primary sub-goals. Number 1, maintain strong planning processes. 2, adhere to plans and governing documents. 3, engage our owners. And 4, deliver exceptional owner services. Let's start with maintain strong planning processes, the cornerstone of the GTA. The board of directors and staff spend a lot of time planning our work, and I think the results prove that that time is well spent. If you've been to an annual meeting since the strategic plan was created in 2012, you've heard us review GTA's planning processes. But let me go through it again quickly, just to reiterate just how important it is to our operation. First, we have the strategic plan, which is our guiding document. It is reviewed annually to ensure it remains dynamic and moves the association towards its vision. Management then creates a rolling 3-year operating plan that outlines the tactics to meet the strategic plan goals in a fiscally responsible manner. The operating plan for the current year is then used as the basis for day-to-day operations. In addition to budgeting for day-to-day operations, financial support for projects and programs to achieve the strategic plan goals are included in the budget. Before we can finalize the budget, staff updates the financial plans and creates lists of projects and purchases for the upcoming year based on those plans. The financial plans include a 25-year major repairs and replacements plan, which schedules repairs and replacements of the association's real common properties and facilities. The numbers in the plan are updated biannually based on the appraisal. As a point of information, the 2023 appraisal valued GTA properties at $45.8 million. The GTA and GTC each maintain a 10-year operating capital equipment plan. These plans account for the replacement of capital equipment such as tractors, lawnmowers, copiers, and ice machines. To be considered capital equipment, the cost of the equipment must exceed $2,500. The GTA's capital equipment is valued at $1.6 million. The GTC's capital equipment is valued at $1.3 million. Finally, we have a 5-year plan for long-range planning projects. This includes the projects approved in the master plan for each amenity and is managed by the Long Range Planning Commission. Each of these plans is reviewed and adjusted annually. Sometimes projects are pushed out to future years because the equipment's in good shape or the life of the asset can be extended. Occasionally, projects are accelerated due to on the schedule due to unexpected failure or even obsolescence. These capital projects and expenditures are presented to the Budget and Finance Commission and included in the budget for consideration by the Board of Directors. The next tactic is to adhere to plans and governing documents. There's no point in having all these plans if we don't follow them. Adhering to the governing documents comes down to periodic review to ensure everything remains current and enforcing the rules contained within. For the last couple of years, the Architectural Review Commission has spent considerable time looking at ways to ensure that design and building materials remain relevant and to provide additional opportunities for the membership to utilize newer materials, such as cement board siding or metal roofs on their homes. Here's the catch. The supplemental declarations for 25 of the 71 subdivisions in the Galena territory require the use of cedar siding or prohibit the use of metal roofing. Determined to find a way to make it happen, the Architectural Review Committee sought input from GTA's attorney, Doug Surrey, on the best way to approach the situation. His recommendation was to attempt to amend the supplemental declarations to allow for alternative materials. The proposed changes, if approved, will specifically allow certain types of siding, such as cement board, while still prohibiting other materials such as vinyl or aluminum siding. Approved roofing materials will then include metal products. The Board of Directors agreed this would be good for the members, and here we are, about to undertake the daunting task of attempting to amend the supplemental declarations. This will not be easy. To amend the supplemental declarations, the changes must be approved by 2/3 of all members, not just the members in those particular subdivisions. Staff put together a plan for this initiative. During the next month, staff will work with Mr. Surrey to develop the ballot to be used. The mailings will go out in early April. Then we need your help. We need you to cast your vote as soon as possible. We expect this to take until fall to get the job done, but the faster we can get it done, the less expensive it's going to be. And then the members can begin using those materials. Thank you in advance for your support. And if that little project isn't enough, the 2024 operating plan also calls for a comprehensive review of the rules and regulations. Now, moving on to engaging our owners. The biannual member survey was conducted in 2023. The purpose of the survey is to identify trends. Participation was down slightly in 2023. I would like to remind you that taking the time to participate in surveys is important. The responses are used by management, the Long Range Planning Commission, and the Board of Directors when evaluating future projects and priorities. The Long Range Planning Commission has begun the task of amenity master planning for the Owners Club. Part of that process is to gain input from the members. When the time comes, please take a few minutes to respond to the survey so your opinions can be shared with the Commission and the Board of Directors. In 2023, staff initiated brief surveys called Property Owner Pulse Surveys. These surveys are just a few short questions on a very specific topic. Let me give you a couple of examples. The Architectural Review Committee was considering a change to its rule prohibiting inflatable holiday decorations. ARC conducted a Property Owner Pulse survey to ask how you, the members, felt about inflatable holiday decorations. Well, it turns out 64% of the respondents were not in favor of allowing inflatables. The Architectural Review Committee took that input under advisement, listened to what you had to say, and decided not to make any changes to the ARC guidelines. Another Property Owner Pulse survey was to ask you about the territory times. I found this one to be fascinating. It turns out you like informative articles on projects and other articles that impact the members, but a lot of you suggested that you would like to see more high-level information, more visuals, and more human impact stories. Territory Times editor Carly Karras is using that feedback to make changes to the Territory Times, such as dashboards for various items like member statistics and types of security calls. She's also added a new question and answer section where members are encouraged to submit a question and the GTA will provide the answer. Respondents also indicated that including more member submissions, whether that's articles or photographs, as well as highlighting local organizations would be beneficial. So please, send us your contributions. The information gleaned from surveys is used in the decision-making process, so please participate. The last sub-goal is to deliver exceptional owner services. Facilities Manager Paul Vituli will be covering services provided to our members in just a few minutes. Measuring overall satisfaction of property owners is done using the Net Promoter Score. The Net Promoter Score measures property owners' willingness to recommend the Galena territory to others. According to the metrics guidelines, the best scoring organizations are in the 50 to 80 range. 2023 survey results show the GTA score at 62, steady from the 2021 survey. Everyone knows we can't deliver operational excellence without the staff to get the job done. For the last several years, you've heard me talk about the tight labor market and how it has affected our operations. The simple fact is, staff turnover and unfilled positions continue to impact GTA in 2023. Looking at the positive side, whenever a position becomes vacant, management takes the opportunity to reevaluate that role, identify changes, make modifications, and revise position descriptions. For example, when reviewing the facilities manager position description, it was determined that we needed more focus on the facilities themselves, and we decided to pull the architectural review administrative tasks and assign them to Sarah Keelaher. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Sarah for taking on that role and doing an outstanding job. Changes like that are made when any position becomes vacant. And needless to say, we've spent more time reviewing position descriptions in the last few years than I care to think about. In 2023, GTA experienced the loss of 7 full-time employees. And now I'd like to introduce the new employees. First, Alex Scavero. Alex joined us as security coordinator. Paul Vituli joined us as facilities manager. Brendan Sullivan as our graphic designer web specialist. Emily Lubke will be speaking in a few minutes and will be introducing her new assistant, Jared Haas. For the first time since we brought the Shenandoah Riding Center operation back in-house in 2020, Shenandoah was fully staffed in the fall of 2023. In addition to barn manager Kristen Cizek, Jesse Ostenreich joined us as assistant barn manager, and Danica Dams joined the team as lead lesson wrangler. We were this close to being fully staffed when 2 employees resigned in December. Luckily, we've already been able to fill those positions. Madison Anderson has joined the riding center as the trail boss, and Tyler Marks has joined the maintenance department as a carpenter. I am pleased to say we are fully staffed for the first time in 5 years. The entire staff goes above and beyond to serve you and deliver operational excellence, and I offer my sincere thanks to each of them. 2024 will bring more staff changes. The GTA has succession plans in place for each senior staff position, and those plans will be implemented for 2 retirements. Steve Burkbeck will be retiring as the Lake Galena and Marina Coordinator. Upon his retirement, Steve will have devoted 24 years to the Galena territory. He started in the security department and then transferred to become the Lake Galena and Marina Coordinator in 2013. His contributions to the GTA over his career are immeasurable. Lake Galena is in outstanding condition due to his efforts, and he would be upset with me if I didn't also give credit to the Lake Management and Ecology Committee for their work on the lake. You see, Steve is not one to take all the credit or to toot his own horn, so I'm going to do it for him. The bait and tackle shop runs like a well-oiled machine. Under Steve's leadership, the profits from that operation have increased from $26,000 in 2013 to $103,000 in 2023. In addition to managing the lake and marina, during the quiet winter season, Steve has been the Illinois Department of Natural Resources certified person culling the deer herd for the last 19 years. Long hours, very hard work, and never a complaint. In addition, Steve joined the Galena Territory Volunteer Fire Department in 2012 and is currently serving as captain. Nope, that's not enough. Steve's desire to serve others drove him to become a certified emergency medical technician, or EMT, last year. Personally, I've always found comfort in knowing that if anything needs to be done, I can always count on Steve. Steve will be retiring in August. You see, he couldn't, in good conscience, leave until the marina project was completed and the bait tackle shop up and running. That's the kind of man he is. Steve, please stand. Finally, I'm retiring as operations manager in late May after 37 years with the GTA.
No.
Thank you. All I want to say, it's been an honor working with the GTA staff and a pleasure serving you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
So this is a sneak attack, and I'm going to pay for it later. So it is fitting that Susan spoke on operational excellence because I'm getting emotional.
It was just me.
Try to pull it together here. It's fitting that she spoke on operational excellence because she has been the driver of that goal for the organization for her entire career. Her attention to detail and organizational skills are second to none. Susan exhibits an unwavering demeanor, never getting flustered in any situation, and embodies the definition of professionalism. As you just experienced, she is also an awesome public speaker. She has the knowledge, skills, and abilities to fill any role, and many times had to cover 2 roles at the same time. From accountant to bar manager to even general manager role, she has done almost every job in the territory except push a mower and maintenance, but I'm sure she'd be awesome at that too. Well, this is not enough. On top of these characteristics, an unmatched work ethic. There are a few days off for Susan, just days out of the office. Often taking a quiet time away to focus on reviewing policies, completing the minutes of the last commission meeting, or whatever it takes to be done. To ensure that accomplish the highest level of customer service to you, our members, and our internal staff. It's truly not enough time to list all our contributions to the GTA, but I think what is most important is the impression that she left on the members and staff. A prime example is that we went out to dinner recently in Scales Mountain, and the waitress actually worked underneath Susan in the cafe, and she made the effort to come up and thank Susan for that time. So it's a definition of the legacy that you left here. So on behalf of the community, the board of the directors, and our staff, we wish you a retirement full of happiness and relaxation, and of course, many enjoyable trips to Disney World. You deserve it.
Nobody cried for Steve, was it?
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who do not know me, which might be most of you, I'm the semi-new facilities manager. My name is Paul Vitulli, and it is quite a delight to be here with all of you and my colleagues to celebrate the territory and our accomplishments as we look forward to our future together. Just a bit of background about this newbie. I recently moved here from Denver, where I spent 12 years in various leadership roles in operations, facilities, retail, and IT. I also had enough spare time to get married and acquire and operate a local pizzeria. And let's just say, I do not like to be bored. Before Denver, I lived in Seattle for 7 years, where I managed a mobile shred company and that serviced the entire state of Washington. Okay, let's see if you can guess where I'm originally from. I'll make this very easy. Here are 3 hits. My football team wears orange and blue. The applause should all go to Susan and Steve. It's called the Sears Tower. What'd you talk about, Willis? And Johnny's Beef on North Avenue has the best Italian beef in the entire. This is good work. Good work. Does anyone want to guess where I grew up? Look at that. First shot. There we go. Good job. Yep. You guessed it. I grew up in Elwood Park, went to Holy Cross High School, and then Roosevelt University, where I studied music education, vocal jazz performance, and business management and administration. Like I said, I don't like to be bored. During my professional career in Chicago, I worked for a global records and data management company for 11 years, the last 4 years of that tenure as the operations manager. Thanks for bearing with me as we took a walk down memory lane. Now, let's jump into business. Delivering operational excellence is the cornerstone of 2 of the services GTA provides: owner services and architectural review. These programs assist you as property owners daily. Let's start with owner services. The owner services program utilizes our dedicated, hardworking, and trustworthy maintenance team who are ready to assist you with most, if not all, of your home needs. These team members are plowing your driveways, shoveling your walkways, maintaining your landscaping, and working on exterior and interior home projects, to name a few of the services we provide. Our maintenance team is comprised of highly skilled and tenured professionals, with most having 10+ years of knowledge and experience working at the GTA alone. This experience and knowledge set us apart from the competition. It's not just me saying this, but you are echoing this as well via the owner services survey that's emailed after every work order has been completed. Thank you for answering and submitting these surveys. The surveys help us identify what we're doing well and the opportunities we need to work on, so we can consistently perform and deliver services at a higher level. All right, let's get into the numbers. Our 2023 bid acceptance rate has increased to 74% compared to 71% in 2022. Intentions to be a repeat customer were 100% in 2023 compared to 96% in 2022. Owner services satisfaction rate jumped to 98% for 2023 compared to 83% in 2022. I want to give Brian Haas and the maintenance team a round of applause for jobs well done. Let's continue this trend in 2024. In 2023, the maintenance staff spent 7,400 hours on GTA common property maintenance, an increase of 19% from 2022. 11,800 hours performing maintenance for satellite associations, again, an increase of 19% from 2022. And 15,200 hours working for you, our members, an increase of 33% for 2022. Some of the reasons we were able to realize an increase in hours worked in 2023 for common property maintenance, satellite association, and owner services were better time tracking via North Star and a better turnout for seasonal employees from 2022. We're currently working on putting a plan together in place to close that seasonal workforce gap. It looks like another busy year for the GTC. We already have more than 200 jobs lined up for the upcoming season, in addition to the work for the satellite associations. We have recently hired a full-time maintenance team member, making us 100% staff for the for the winter and spring seasons. We're looking forward to fulfilling your requests this year. Owner Services is here to make your properties and your homes the best they can be. We provide many services, both interior and exterior. These services can be scheduled by emailing or calling Kelsey Gamble, our Owner Services representative. Beyond projects around your house, Owner Services offers other convenient services and programs such as key retention, home monitoring, heat light, and more. You can peruse our entire list of services by logging into the GTA website and going to the Owner Services menu on the left-hand side of the screen. Whatever the job, Owner Services wants to make sure we're doing it right for you. You can fill out our Owner Request for Service form, where you can be as detailed as you would like. Of course, the more detailed, the better we know how to execute your request. This form can be found on the website under Home, GTA Forms, Request for Owner Services. You can drop off the form at the front desk, or you can email the form to Kelsey. Now let's talk about the Architectural Review Committee. The ARC reviews property additions and changes to individual properties. In 2023, the ARC approved 10 new homes. They also approved 218 garages, decks, and other additions or changes, and consistently monitored ongoing construction projects through periodic inspections. Speaking of inspections, they conducted annual inspections of 1,762 single-family homes and 483 multifamily units. 119 letters were sent to single-family owners whose home required exterior maintenance. The committee also continuously monitored exterior lights and signage. I want to take the time now to share the ARC's commitment to partner with you to ensure we are taking care of our community for everyone to enjoy now and for future generations. We encourage property owners to attend our meetings and voice concerns. While the ARC has enforcement authority, we hope to accomplish our mission through openness and cooperation. We believe that all property owners care for the Galena territory and join us in our goal of preserving it for generations to come. Lastly, I want to talk about utilities. The last several years have been extremely busy with the installation of infrastructure for natural gas and fiber internet. The installation of natural gas delivery system is complete. Construction took 2 years, but natural gas is available to all properties in the territory. Fiber optic high-speed internet is making its way through the territory. Construction of this system began in August of 2019 and continues to this day with the final 2 small sections currently under construction. At this time, all neighborhoods are in the under construction phase or completed. These 2 infrastructure projects were vitally important to the GTA, and we would like to thank our partners, Nicor Gas and Sand Prairie, now known as JCE Co-op. Thanks for your time today, and I look forward to meeting all of you after the presentation.
Our next strategic plan goal is to protect and promote our unique lifestyle. What does that mean? Protecting our lifestyle here in the territory is crucial. It means we protect the night sky and are committed to preserving and enhancing natural areas. Rules, regulations, guidelines, they are all put in place to ensure we don't wander from our plan. Promoting our lifestyle and amenities is equally important, not only to those of us who are property owners, but also to potential property owners. We are here because the territory is special, because of the lifestyle it offers, and because of our amenities. Today, Recreation and Lifestyle Coordinator Jason Weigard, Shenandoah Riding Center Coordinator Kristen Cizek, Natural Resources Coordinator Emily Lubke, and Lake Galena and Marina Coordinator Steve Burkbeck will provide updates on areas that support our lifestyles and amenities. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jason.
weeks ago, I was sitting at my kitchen table, staring at my computer screen when my wife asked me what I was doing. I explained I was trying to figure out what I wanted to include in my annual meeting speech, and that I wanted to engage the audience, not just talk to them. As a recreation and lifestyle coordinator, I can't just come up here and give you guys numbers and data. I need to get up, have them interact, get them talking, have fun, engage them. Her simple answer to me was Pinterest. She said, use it like you do when you're planning out your recreation events. Get some inspiration, put your spin on it, and deliver it. Pinterest has never let her down when she tries to find a project for me to do. So I'm hoping it won't let me down either. So here we go. Now, imagine every one of you in this audience is a cat, and I'm your owner. Most cats don't pay attention to what their owners say to them, but they will pay attention if you give them treats. So, the three lovely ladies in this room are here to hand out some kisses. Part of my job includes working with the social advisory group, whose objective it is to provide social opportunity for the members and to support the strategic plan objective to protect and promote our unique lifestyle by engaging our owners. But this can't be done alone. I've had the pleasure of working with the social chair, Chris Siegel, and the advisory group to bring you a wide range of events this year. We want to build on what we brought last year, which includes having more owners get involved in our social events. To assist in this process, we have developed a presentation on how to become a social host. If you are interested in hosting or helping with an event, we are always looking for volunteers. You can find information about this on our website or by contacting me. I also want to give you a small glimpse of some of the 2024 social activities still to come. These include a St. Patrick's Day party, a Cinco de Mayo party, a summer concert series including music every Wednesday night and select Saturdays, steak at the lake dinner, Oktoberfest, a Thanksgiving party, and a holiday party, just to name a few of them. We also want to build on some of the great work done by our 50th anniversary group last year. They came up with a month full of activities that were all well received and attended. This group held a golf outing, dinner gala, anniversary party with fireworks. Building off those events, the social committee and recreation department are currently planning an anniversary picnic combined with a grand opening for the new marina pavilion. And another territory golf outing at the South Course celebrating their 40th anniversary. Okay, everyone, or should I say cats, we're going to play a little game. Simon Says. So for those of you who can, Simon Says, stand up. Go ahead, stand up. Now Simon says, put your hand on top of your head. Simon says, look to your right. Simon says, look to your left. Simon says, raise your left hand. Simon says, raise your right hand. Simon says, sit back down. Now yell, GTA Recreation is the best. Simon got second. Now thanks everyone. Now I'll grind through the rest of the speech. Moving on to some recreation updates. This year we're planning on opening the pool Memorial Day weekend, and if the weather's nice, a few weeks before. We are also looking for summer employees to lead the cafe team. We will again be teaching a lifeguard class for any new recruits looking to become a lifeguard. We teach this class in-house, and it's a great way to enjoy the summer weather, but still be poolside, making some money. We have also had a slight change to our Owners Club rules and regulations. With the Illinois Department of Public Health guidelines and the Board of Directors approval, beverages will be permitted chairside at the pool. Last year was a trial year to test out the new rule, and it was well received. Beverages can be consumed in your pool chair, 10 feet away from the pool. All food and coolers must still stay in the concession deck located on the south side of the pool. This helps keep our pool deck clean and helps reduce the attraction of bees and other insects. Glass is never permitted, nor are beverages poolside or in the pool. And finally, food and gum are not allowed on the pool deck as well. Also, this year we identified a need to sort all activities and events that pertain to the GTA. Historically, we didn't have any way to identify and segment an event based on type. We decided to take a comprehensive look at all events and categorize them. We divided them into 6 different types, as shown on the screen. We then created an administrative procedure for all categories to help identify the type of event, the group and participants, meeting locations, the type of event, group and or type of GTA support, and some other key factors. This information is found on the website and we encourage groups to fill out an application. If you have any questions, please contact me. Albert Einstein once said, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." In 2024, the GTA Recreation and Lifestyle Department plan on doing just that, to keep you moving and create fun, memorable, and diverse events for all to enjoy. We can't wait to see you. And now I'd like to turn it over to Kristen.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kristen Ciesick, and I am the manager at Shenandoah Riding Center. I have been working here since June of 2022. My first full year was filled with much success. We worked hard to put Shenandoah Riding Center back on the map for horse owners with clinics and competitions that grossed over $40,000. We amped up our marketing to increase tourist revenue and grossed $344,000 in trail rides, which is $98,000 more than the previous year. Overall, we finished 2023 with an extraordinary $107,000 profit, crushing SRC's most profitable year on record by $85,000. Thank you. We are excited to continue increasing the traffic and profits at SRC. Jesse Ustenrich, the first ever assistant manager of Shenandoah, was key to the many successes we had this year. Jesse is the face of the barn and is crucial to our daily operations and does an excellent job making our boarders happy and taking amazing care of our horse herds. As you may already know, this year we will be focusing on operational excellence, which entails maintaining strong planning processes. We spent a lot of time planning to ensure all of our offerings are executed successfully. Our first plan to make sure we have continued success in our annual rodeo. We have signed a 3-year contract with Universal Rodeo and will be continuing our relationship with the PRCA, the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. We are expecting quality stock from Universal Rodeo, which in return will get us quality contestants who will have guests on the edges of their seats. Universal Rodeo loved our venue, and now that they have the lay of the land, we are expecting the 2024 rodeo to be bigger and better than ever. We received positive feedback from the guests and the contestants who are all eager to see what we have going on for this year's rodeo. I'm excited to share that we were able to negotiate a contract with the Boy Scouts of America. They will visit us 5 times this year to earn their equestrian badges. We will be teaching them about horse care, horse safety, and horseback riding. This relationship has opened the door for us to negotiate contracts with other groups, such as the Girl Scouts and even field trips from the local schools. We have done a vast number of renovations to maintain our property. We had issues with the mud in pastures and did excavation work to lessen the mud, and current boarders are very pleased. We added automatic waterers to our stalls for horses to have access to water 24/7. Paul, our facilities manager, has been working hard on our electrical project and the remodel of the SRC kitchen area. The remodel will include a much-needed electrical update that will allow us to install cameras and a new sound system. We will also be adding a new outdoor arena fence to keep the focal point of our property looking its best. As part of operational excellence, we want to engage with property owners more, and we have planned to have open houses this year. We want owners to come and visit our beautiful property, our amazing horses, and of course, the staff who make this all possible. Keep your eyes on the Territory Times for those dates. We know not everyone wants to ride horses, and we have plenty of events for owners to participate in that do not include riding. We held Winter Carnival in conjunction with Eagle Ridge, and we have our Easter egg hunt, Kentucky Derby party, Harvest Hoedown, Halloween party, and Country Christmas. And, back by popular demand, is Fear Forest. As most of you, we are really looking forward to this one. It's sure to be a showstopper. We are even adding Bears tailgate parties. Come on down on select Sundays in September and October and watch the game on our 75-inch glare-free TV. We dabbled in buying and selling horses in 2023. We bought horses that needed additional training and used them as guide horses for our trail rides. After horses were trained by wranglers, they were then promoted to guest horses. We were able to sell these horses all after we were done using them for the season. This business model allows us to keep fewer horses over winter and make a profit when we sell them. We were able to make over $10,000 selling horses in 2023. Some of those horses were sold to property owners, local barns, and even current boarders. We are striving to be a one-stop shop. By selling horses, we increase our board numbers, trail pass revenue, and horse owner event income. As you can see, selling horses is a multifaceted stream of revenue. We will continue to offer our kids camps and adult camps as they remain in high demand. Just a reminder that we have kids camps around the holidays to give parents a much needed break. Every kids camp sells out, so be sure to reserve your spot. Not interested in riding horses? No problem. We have senior saddles for anyone aged 55 and older to interact with horses without riding them. For families, we offer horseplay, an all ages 75-minute horse interactive program without horseback riding. Guests brush, lead, and give treats to horses while getting educational information from their wrangler. Children must be accompanied by an adult. We have something for everyone at SRC, and we hope you can come visit us. Just remember, there is no charge to come and see the horses and walk around the facility. We are open 7 days a week from 8 to 4:30. Come on down, say hello, and see the wonderful staff and our amazing herd of horses. And now I will turn it over to Emily.
Thank you, Kristen, and good afternoon, everyone. 2023 was an exciting year for the Natural Resources Department, aka me. We brought on our first full-time staff member, Natural Resources Technician Jared Haas. He hit the ground running after Memorial Day and has been a great addition to GTA staff. Adding Jared to the staff was a big factor in improving our operational excellence because we have a dedicated staff member to perform regular maintenance on a consistent schedule and level. His first responsibility was to become familiar with our trail system, Kubota tractor, and rotary mower. By his third day on the job, he was out mowing trails. Jared is the staff lead for trail maintenance and upkeep, working with and learning from maintenance department staff for bigger projects. Last year, he spent more than 216 hours on our 26 miles of trails. When he wasn't on the trails, Jared was stewarding our natural areas, spraying and mowing invasive species, and cutting and piling brush. It's exciting to have an employee assigned solely to the important work of maintaining and improving our largest amenity by acreage, both for wildlife and habitat value and for your enjoyment and appreciation. Projects beyond our day-to-day operations are dictated by the Green Space Amenity Master Plan, approved in 2021. Projects scheduled in 2023 included woodland management at Big Rock Woods and improved trail crossings at Smallpox Creek. Unfortunately, even with good foreplanning, these projects became challenges last year due to design requirements and cost increases. Big Rock Woods is an 8.4-acre area just north of Big Rock Prairie, which is located at Marina and Territory Drives. The west side includes a mixed stand of white, fir, red, and black oaks, and an intermittent ravine. Centrally, a degraded bur oak savanna is on top of the ridge. And to the east, a walnut basswoods stand has a consistently wet and spring-fed ravine. The Taylor Run Trail runs primarily north and south through this east side of the site. The budgeted cost per acre for this project was based on bids received for similar work in 2020 and 2021. However, bids came in at twice the anticipated cost, and contractors were not available to perform the work until this year. So earlier this month, the project began in the Oak Woods and Savannah, and we will budget the east part of the site for next year. The Smallpox Creek trail crossings were another challenge due to the engineering requirements for the crossings. Like many creeks and rivers in the Driftless, Smallpox is considered very flashy. It rises quickly during flood events and returns to normal flow levels just as fast. However, when flooded, flow rates and volumes are high, capable of washing away a bridge and its abutments, and causing extensive damage in the floodplain outside of its banks, as we witnessed, unfortunately, in 2002 and again between 2007 and 2011. Due to the flow rates of the creek and our firsthand knowledge of how damaging the floodwater can be during these large storm events, the design for the creek crossings had to be increased to ensure they would not be damaged or washed downstream. The engineers therefore spec'd a more substantial structure for each crossing, and the design estimate was originally about 6 times the budgeted project cost, which we based on a different type of structure that we learned will just not withstand the floodwaters. We're continuing to work with the engineers to identify a more cost-effective solution, and the project will be considered in a future budget. Although these two projects were challenging, they were offset by several great accomplishments. This included the first of our new outcrop release projects, which occurred along Marina Drive. During the winter, when our oak woodlands are dormant, it's easy to look into them and see large dolomite and limestone boulders jutting from the hillsides. Several occurred along Marina Drive, including the most prominent example near the old Taylor House. The second project occurred earlier this winter along the driveway to North Cove Park. This work was both in preparation for a project this year and to expose the limestone outcrops. Early last year, in response to a change in the leash rules, the board assigned staff to review potential locations within green space to establish off-leash areas. After receiving feedback from interested owners, we established 2. One along Marina Drive, adjacent to the tennis and pickleball courts, and the other is in the large field adjacent to the prairie at Thunder Bay Falls Park. Both sites have signage and waste bags available. Our farmers market season last summer had record attendance, surpassing 11,225 visitors throughout the season and 875 people at the December holiday market. We also welcomed new market managers, Julie and Bruce Specht. Previously, Linda and Don Klinger were managers for 9 seasons, but decided to reduce their responsibilities to spend more time with family and sleep in on the occasional Sunday. I'd like to thank all of them for their time and dedication to our market. This year we will celebrate our 20th season, and we hope to see you on Sunday mornings, starting Memorial Day weekend. Several trail improvement projects were completed from October through December. These included repairing washouts and creating water bars on Old Horse Camp Loop. As water moves downslope on our trails, water bars collect and divert it away from the trail tread, reducing erosion and damage. traveling on Old Stage Line between Eagle Ridge Drive and Black Hawk Trace, we improved the approach onto Black Hawk so it will be easier and safer for our maintenance vehicles and equipment to see oncoming traffic. Lastly, the trail tread on both Cut Slope and Section 18 Trail cut across the grade of the hillsides they travel, which made for uncomfortable walking as ankles and feet tend to roll down slope, and made mowing and maintenance challenging, especially when conditions were slick. The solution for these areas was a bench cut, where soil is excavated from the upslope side of the trail and placed on the downslope side, creating a level trail tread. The side slopes and trail tread were seeded to stabilize the soil. I'll be having a quiz during the cocktail party for any of you guys to identify the trails I just spoke about. Wrapping up our stewardship and projects for 2023, we had a great but short burn season in early November. After a couple of non-existent fall burn seasons, this one was rigorous but successful and fun. The goals for the sites included to clear vegetation to broadcast seed this winter, reduce woody growth, recycle nutrients, and stimulate plant growth this spring. We accomplished the first burn of the northeast portion of Stony Ridge Woods between Territory Drive and the Upper Trail. Other burns occurred at Belden School, Big Rock Prairie, North Cove Park, and Thunder Bay Falls Park. The last burn of the season was our best at Thunder Rock Point, the first one since woodland management occurred in 2022. Looking ahead now to a few things this year. We have 2 new projects from our Green Space Amenity Master Plan, woodland management at Stony Ridge Woods. Work will be done at the north extent of the ridge. In fact, that work has already started on the steep slope below the 2 lookout platforms, and we'll be paving the parking lot at North Cove Park. This improvement will increase the parking capacity to 22 stalls, especially important during those winters when North Cove is busy with ice fishing. Additional woodland stewardship projects will occur on the east-facing slope adjacent to Marina Park to continue with work that started last year. This winter, that work will focus on oak release, which is removing trees that encroach the canopy or roots of the mature oaks, invasive species removal, and cleaning up any deadfall. A second project is off Furnace Creek Spur Trail between Shenandoah Drive and Tamarack Row, which we will remove trees around dolomite boulders and create a walking path from the trail to explore these areas up close. Monthly Hit the Trail walks will continue from April 20th through October. Please check the calendar or Territory Times for dates. I hope you can join me to explore a trail and learn about the ecology and landscape history of the Territory. Thank you, and now I'd like to pass the mic to the best office mate, Steve Berkbeck.
I didn't even know we had a Furnace Creek Spur. but I've seen the Dolomite boulders, they're cool. Thank you, Emily. Hello, everyone. Growing up on a farm here in rural Galena, I quickly learned the cycle of all things agricultural. Plant in the spring, cut hay all summer, and harvest the grains in the fall. Likewise, with livestock, turn the bulls out in the spring. In late June, if you want spring calves, maintain your fences all summer and cut the calves from the herd when the pastures play out. Simple enough. Same thing to do, same time every year. So what are my parents and grandparents doing 3 or 4 nights a month? Papers flying, pencils ground to a stub, magazines, flyers, checkbooks, newspapers spread all over the kitchen table. Well, it turns out they were planning. Which seeds to purchase, where to plant them, where to buy next year's bulls, how many heifers to keep, and when is the best time to sell, borrow, or buy. It didn't take long for me to realize the value of a good plan, especially when interest rates were 20% or more. You can all remember that, right? You simply could not afford to make a mistake. As my career progressed, naval enlistment, the Hood Tractor Company, Walt Disney World, Tri-State Travel, owner-operator of a small trucking company, and then back to the family farm. Every stop along the way pointed to the value of good planning. Now here at the Galena Territory Association, plans are prevalent and relevant in every aspect of our operations. We have multiple decade plans, 3-year plans, operating plans, strategic plans, a business plan, marketing plan, many more plans that Susan pointed out earlier. All these plans are in place to ensure that the association continually moves forward in a direction that is good for all of our members, under the guidance of our General Manager, Steve Weiland, our Operations Manager, Susan Miller, and all the great directors of our board. Thank you all for what you do. For me, things become a little more personal as I get closer to Lake Galena and the plans continue. We have a watershed plan in place that follows the journey of each drop of water that falls from the sky or bubbles from the ground all the way to our lake. The plan calls for monitoring mineral, chemical, and biological content of this water from its origin all the way to its destination. Our fishery plan details how we will sustain and grow our fishery by monitoring catches in various ways and introducing fish stock as needed. The plan also provides direction on how to build and distribute fish habitat, identify species, recruitment, and manage catch limits. The aquatic vegetation plan provides direction on when, where, and how much vegetation needs to be controlled or removed to balance the needs of the fishery with our practical needs of the boaters. It details the identification of native species and the damaging effects if left uncontrolled. We also have a detailed invasive species plan that outlines the exclusion strategy and reduction strategy for both aquatic invasive plants and animals. This plan also covers how we monitor and control native nuisance species that have an impact on the water quality of Lake Galena. There is a dredge plan that guides our decisions on when, where, and how much silt needs to be removed to maintain the navigability and the water quality of coves and inlets. The Marina Operations Management Plan drives our docking and storage operations, as well as facilities and grounds management at the marina. The bait shop operation plan details how we efficiently operate our rental fleet and our retail operations. We're required by the state of Illinois statute to have in place a dam breach emergency action plan. We work with several state and county agencies to ensure the safety of downstream residents if the unimaginable should happen. And yet another dam plan. That didn't come out right. I meant to say we have a maintenance plan in place that requires quarterly in-house inspections and an annual inspection of Lake Galena's dam by a qualified engineer. So where am I headed with the mention of all these plans? Well, the Galena Territory Association, having all these plans in place, can ensure that we, as members, know precisely where we are as an organization, and we have a pretty good idea where we're headed. Even better, we have a roadmap detailing how we're going to get there. Now, that's not to say that there won't be some potholes along the way, or some detours, or even a slight change in destination. But the continuity provided by this extensive planning keeps the association's vision moving forward through director, staff, and membership changes. Working for the association for nearly 24 years, and having a certain amount of autonomy to evaluate, modify, and even develop workable plans that are relevant to the changing times we live in has been an honor and a challenge. A challenge in that as a hands-on type of person, typically doing has been my strong suit, but the leadership here at the association has driven me and other staff to drink the Kool-Aid and plan for a great future. Thank you for taking the time to elect great directors who in turn hire great managers, who hire great staff, who facilitate the vision of the Galena Territory Association. You can plan on that. And now I'll turn it over to Michael.
Steve. Now we move on to our final goal, expand and improve amenity value. The amenity master plan is a rotating 5-year detailed plan centered around just what this goal is, expanding and improving our amenities. Our amenity master plan is a snapshot of our vision for our amenities and how we as an association offer relevant, forward-thinking, and appealing amenities for our members. This plan is tied to the strategic plan. It is reviewed every year and looks at the long-range planning, major repairs and replacements, and the operating plan to ensure all are aligned. For those of you who may not know, the original intention was to complete master plans for all amenities at the same time. But the board reset the course and decided to do one amenity at a time. Under the guidance of the board, volunteers and staff have been planning for our future for our 4 primary amenities: Lake Galena and the Marina, the Owners Club, Green Space, and Shenandoah Riding Center. All of these are completed except the Owners Club, which will be our focus in 2024. Steve Weiland will speak about the amenity master plan, our vision, and of course the Marina Park Improvement Project. Steve?
Thank you, Mike. The foundation of the GTA's planning is the strategic plan, which defines our core values, mission, vision, goals, and progress measures. The strategic plan's intent is to define the objectives that enable us to move from our mission to harness our valuable resources to make the territory a great place for owners and visitors to work and play, towards our vision to be a relevant, inviting, and inclusive place to live, work, visit, and play. Think of the strategic plan as a stool. There are 3 legs on this stool representing the goals. The third leg of the stool is to expand and improve amenity value. The core of our mission is to execute on the goals to deliver operational excellence and to protect and promote our unique lifestyle. The goal that is most important to reach our vision is to expand and improve amenity value. This is the only way that the association will remain relevant and inviting to existing members as well as prospective owners. To support this goal, staff has worked with the Long Range Planning Commission to develop the Amenity Master Plan, or AMP, which is a document that incorporates all the information into one location for future planned projects using the Long Range Planning Fund, Major Repairs and Replacement Fund, and operating capital expenditures. The AMP concentrates on the next 5 years as dictated in the Long Range Planning Fund policy and is reviewed every year. As Mike indicated, the last major amenity that needs to be incorporated into the Amenity Master Plan is the Owners Club. The Owners Club was the second amenity built by the Brandiger organization after the opening of the Shenandoah Riding Center. The facility has gone through 3 major renovations: the enhancement to the pool deck, the addition of the game room, and connecting the 3 original buildings in 1985, the addition of the social hall and new office space in 2005, and the pool improvement project in 2012, which added the indoor pool, expanded the outdoor pools, and relocated the fitness center. The Owners Club is the most used amenity at the association, so the completion of the Amenity Master Plan will be a significant undertaking. It will require input from members through surveys, town hall meetings, and other communication avenues. Management is compiling existing data on the use of the facility, including rentals, recreation activities for each room, and entrance access prior to the start of the planning. The goal is to provide significant progress on the AMP to present an update at the 2025 annual meeting. We look forward to your participation and input in the process. To facilitate the expansion and improvement of amenity value, a separate fund was established called the Long Range Planning, or LRP Fund. A portion of the annual assessment is allocated to the LRP Fund, to ensure that projects that are incorporated into the amenity master plan are budgeted for outside of the operating and major repairs and replacement funds. Having a dedicated fund for enhancements is unique for associations where many communities struggle to properly manage fund replacements and repairs. As Chris and Emily elaborated, several projects for Shenandoah and Green Space were completed last year utilizing LRP funds. In addition to LRP funds, were utilized to pay for the design fees, services for the Marina Park Improvement Project. The 2024 budget includes 3 green space projects with a total budget of $88,500. The 5-year plan consists mostly of additional green space projects since the other amenities have been improved over the recent years with a combination of operating and MR&R funds. While the LRP assessment is 0 for 2024, the intent is to return to an assessment in the range of $45 per property in 2025 to rebuild the fund balance for future projects. A major undertaking to expand and improve amenity value is the Marina Park Improvement Project. The project planning started in 2018 and resulted in an overall Marina Amenity Master Plan, which included the replacement of the marina and pavilion buildings, enhanced docks, construction of a new maintenance facility in a different location, relocation of the boat storage to the existing maintenance facility, and the creation of a new sports complex. With the overall project estimated to be upwards of $20 million, the board decided to focus on the key elements for the project of the marina building, pavilion building, docks, and the playground. Conceptual design plans and estimates were developed in 2021 for several options, including renovating the existing structures and building a combined marina pavilion building. The result of the review of the concept plans was the decision to build 2 new separate buildings for the marina and the pavilion. After the selection of the design team to complete the final design and engineering plans, new concept plans were generated and presented to membership at the 2022 annual meeting. Based on the feedback received, the style of the buildings were revised prior to proceeding with schematic design. Construction documents were completed in late summer of 2022, and pricing was obtained in the project in the fall. The original bids came in roughly 25% over budget. So the design team and staff worked through cost reduction and value engineering items to pull the total project cost under the approved overall budget of $6.7 million. The board reviewed the various scope reductions and voted to proceed with the project in February of 2023 at a project cost of $6.35 million based on reusing 90% of the existing docks while maintaining the functionality and overall vision for the new amenities. The new marina building will include an expanded bait and tackle shop, retail space, additional on-site storage and workspace, an updated marina lounge on the main level with an adjacent covered patio, and a kitchen and new interior and exterior restrooms. The new pavilion will provide a year-round banquet and meeting space for upwards of 200 guests with inside restroom facilities, a catering kitchen, and retractable windows that access the expansive fireplace patio with additional varied seating for upwards of 70 more people, all with an incredible view of Lake Galena. Site improvements include 6 to 10 foot wide concrete walking paths, moving the open space, taking you from the parking lot to the relocated fishing pier, to the pavilion and the new playground located where the previous pavilion was set. The proposed landscaping plan will include a mixture of turf, prairie, and woodland grasses, along with landscaping beds adjacent to the buildings. The large berm in front of the marina has been removed and will be replaced with limestone walking path, limestone benches, and a new directional sign. A mixture of limestone and park benches will be scattered along the walking paths to take in the scenic views or cast the line to catch the big one along the shoreline. A council ring will be created with a bonfire pit adjacent to the relocated fishing pier. The new nature-centric themed playground will provide play options for all ages, from walking along the balance log to climbing rocks to get to the slides or joining your friends on the oodle swing. The existing outdoor restrooms will receive a renovation this year too, and will remain open during the summer to provide facilities for playground users. The construction schedule was established to start the work for the area west of No Name Creek in August after the 50th anniversary celebration, and to delay the start of the work on the marina building until after the Labor Day holiday. The project proceeded as planned, with progress on the pavilion ahead of schedule. When the existing dock sections were pulled to evaluate their condition, it was identified that only 37% of the existing docks were in a condition to be repurposed for future use. The board approved an increase to the project budget of $238,000 to replace the additional 135 dock sections, increasing the total project budget to $6.586 million, which is still below the original approved amount of $6.7. The total project budget was established with a contingency of $226,000. Most of these funds have been allocated to unforeseen items with significant costs for electrical, natural gas, and septic system reconfigurations identified through the permitting process. The project remains on track to be completed within the updated total project budget. The framing of the marina building was delayed based on the weather conditions in January, but our construction manager, Conley Construction, has been pushing all subcontractors to get the project back on track for a soft opening on Friday, May 24th. We will hold a ribbon cutting that day, and the official grand opening celebration for the project is scheduled for Saturday, July 27th, when we will plan similar events and activities that took place at 50 Fest in celebration of the association's anniversary last year. I want to thank members of the Marina Task Force, Steve Burkbeck, Emily Lupke, and the entire GTA staff for their assistance in coordinating and executing of the project. It truly was a team effort. While the completion of the Marina Park Improvement Project is a major goal for 2024, there are additional priorities that the management team will focus on this year. With the onboarding of 2 executive level and 1 senior level position, I have provided staff with the direction to make operational excellence a priority for the year. While we are educating our new team members, we will take the opportunity to evaluate whether the way we have been operating is still the best process to deliver excellence to you, our members. The vacancy in the facilities manager position affected our ability to complete the scheduled operating capital projects and purchases, along with major repairs and replacement projects. With that role filled, we must ensure that all budgeted projects are completed in a timely, cost-effective manner. The review of hourly rates for GTC maintenance services completed in 2023 was the beginning of the work necessary to review the profitability and efficiency of owner services. The goal this year is to determine if we can utilize our existing property management and timekeeping applications to provide the data we need to understand our overall maintenance operations. The year ahead looks once again to be full of challenges, but I am confident that our team will rise to the occasion and do what it takes to keep things running smoothly. I know this because they've done it every time in the 4 years in my tenure as your general manager. So, challenge accepted. Now I'll turn it back to Mike.
Thank you, Steve. The Board of Directors receives input and recommendations from the many committees, commissions, advisory groups, and subcommissions on a variety of topics. These groups do the heavy lifting. I'm going to name each commission, each committee, commission, and advisory group. If you are a member of any of these, please stand and remain standing as I call out the name of each. Please hold your applause till each group has been acknowledged. Architectural review. Nominating. Budget and finance. Civic affairs. Legal, bylaws, and arbitration. Long-range planning. Marketing. Editorial. Election. Green space. Lake management and ecology. Social. 50th anniversary. Marina Park Improvement Task Force, Galena Territory Foundation Board of Directors, Belden School Preservation, Education and Scholarship, Richard Peterson EMT Endowment Fund. Please thank you for all your volunteers. And finally, I'd like to recognize our past board members. If you were ever on the GTA Board of Directors, please stand. Thank you for your service to the GTA. The Civic Affairs Commission would like to remind everyone about the importance of volunteering, not just in the territory, but also in our community. There is one group of volunteers, though, that I'd like to call out. At this time, I'd like to ask anyone who is a volunteer firefighter, emergency medical responder, or emergency medical technician to please stand. Take a look around. Without these critical volunteers, emergency response in our area would be limited. We owe these folks a great deal. I'd also like to congratulate our very own Tadayana Agi, who works in security. She's a volunteer firefighter and now has started her journey to become an EMT. Thank you. Now, I'd like to take questions from property owners. Please be aware that the question and answer session may be limited, so we have time to present election results and adjourn the meeting before the ever-popular cocktail party begins. If you would like to ask a question, please come to one of the 4 microphones positioned in the aisles. When you do, I will call on you and I ask that you state your name and territory address. Ask one question. No comments, please. Keep your question as short as possible. And as in the past, if questions cannot be answered completely during the meeting, will be answered in the May issue of the Territory Times. If you are not able to ask your question, you can submit it for possible publications. While our members move to the microphone, I'd like to thank staff members Carly, Kiris, and Brendan Sullivan for their hard work in creating the annual meeting collab. Also, thanks to Sarah Kelleher for her work in organizing the exhibit and fair and the reception. I'd also like to thank Eagle Ridge for the use of their facilities. They have done a great job for us. Any questions? Please, name and address.
Hi, Veronica Michelou, 2 Arrowwood Lane. I have one question, but it's two-part. So, I just want to know who will, and I say this in all sincerity with no antagonism or anything, because we love living here, but I would like to know who is going to be responsible for enforcing this chair-side policy now at the pool. Because you cannot expect teenage lifeguards to do so. And last summer, we already saw incidents. And the second part of the question is, have we thought about our liability if we do not enforce these new rules. And there is broken glass, there's drinks spilled in the pool, there's unruly behavior, and our new rules are not enforced.
So part of the new team member that I mentioned would be the cafe position that we're looking for, which will help get me and some of my full-time staff out of the cafe, which will help us monitor the pool deck. As you saw last year too, our security personnel started doing multiple rounds around the pool deck, and Alex and me have talked about more routine trips around the pool. In terms of glass, there's never any glass allowed on the pool deck. That's a huge no-no in the pool industry. So that glass won't be allowed, and that's part of the bag check. They'll still ask if there's any glass in your coolers and check your bags, as in the past. I think that was both your questions. So it's just more of me and my full-time staff and the adults that are poolside to enforce those rules, and you as owners to abide by them.
More questions?
Marjorie Newman, 7 Oxbow Path. I wonder if you could give us an update, if not now, but in the Territory Times, about the condition of the dam, what the useful life is that's left, what maintenance is happening. I know that it's an uninsured item, and what steps, if anything, the board is making to put money aside to the event, in the event that there's a failure. Just let us all know what's happening regarding the dam. That would be really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie. We do have a plan in place to carry ongoing maintenance of the dam every year through inspections. There's survey markers on the dam, so we can check it every year to make sure that it's staying where it's supposed to be. Part of our maintenance plan is to keep the spillway clear so that in the event of a flood, the water can flow freely over it. Back in 2011, we experienced a close to 1,000-year flood, which basically is the amount of water that would fall. And the dam withstood that very well. We have a really big spillway, so we can take a lot of water and move it over and out of our lake in a big hurry. So there's no real big issues with a flooding event causing any issues with our dam. As far as the life of the dam, we'll have to look into that and check with our engineers, but as far as I can tell, this dam has been in place for 50 years, and I'd say at least another 50 years before we have to even think about it.
Thank you, Steve. Other questions? Wow. Amazing. I guess then we have to move on. Now I'd like to introduce Karen Johnson, Chair of the Election Event Advisory Group. Karen will share the Board of Directors' election results. Karen? Thank you.
Thank you, President Ducharme. I have the results of the 2024 Board of Directors election. But first, I would like to thank my advisory group members for their help today. My members are Shar Fee, Garnet Fee, Kathy Harding, Ed Harding, Chris Harris, Dennis Harris, David High, Larry Johnson, Steve Lammers, Karen Landock, Tom Landock, and Jerry Lazor. So that's... Today, there were 1,048 ballots cast in the 2024 election. There were 19 write-in candidates and 8 spoiled ballots. The 3 candidates with the most votes, Greg Ropeter, Chris Siegel, and Frank Vamponic. The total votes for each candidate given in alphabetical order are Colleen Dugan, 510 votes, Gregory Ropeter, 848 votes, Chris Siegel, 787 votes, and Frank Vamponic, 697 votes. We only had 1 candidate write-in that had more than 10 votes, and that was Bruce Hassis, who had 14 write-in votes. There were 3 bylaw amendments on the ballot today. Bylaw amendments must be approved by 2/3 of the members voting. The first proposed bylaw amendment would allow the association the ability to request reimbursement for legal fees and other costs in extreme cases when violation disputes require legal proceedings and which don't involve assessment collection. This amendment received 793 yes votes and 237 no votes. The amendment passed by 77% of the votes. The second proposed bylaw amendment was to change the number of committee members from 5 to 7. This amendment received 755 yes votes and 278 no votes. This amendment passed with 73.1%. The third proposed bylaw amendment was to change the number of commission members from 9 to 11. The amendment received 650 yes votes and 297 no votes. The amendment passed at 68.6%. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Karen, and thanks to the Election Advisory Group for all your hard work. At this time, I would like to congratulate our new board members and ask that they gather at the stage when this meeting is over. The new board will meet in the Woodlands to elect officers immediately following this session. Any property owner is welcome to attend the board meeting for the election of the officers. Now I would like to take a moment to thank our outgoing board members. Gary Binder.
Don't cry, Mike.
I know. Greg Pierce and Greg Ropeter. Where's the tissues? Each of these individuals has contributed their valuable time, energy, and input. It hasn't always been easy, but they were each dedicated and passionate about their roles on this board. Greg, as you all know, Greg Ropeter, as you all know, had completed his first 3-year term and was just re-elected. Thank you, Greg, for volunteering to serve another 3 years. Gary, you're next. Gary Binder has completed his 2nd term on the board of directors and served as vice president from 2019 to 2022. Please understand, this was 6 years out of this board member's life. He's also served on architectural review, legal, bylaws and arbitration, the fiber optic subcommission, social, LEMIC, and green space. But perhaps what Gary is most known for is being the self-proclaimed director of trash. on the board. And I truly want people to understand the commitment that it takes to spend 6 years of attending board meetings, listening to calls that you receive from members, serving on committees, and doing it with a smile on your face. Thank you, Gary. Greg Pierce is also finishing up his second term. I'm sure it's happened before, but they have 2 board members that have served 6 years going out on the same time. I can tell you, number one, there is a lot of history that we're going to have to catch up on from someone. Greg served as treasurer from 2018 to 2020 and secretary in 2023. He's also been involved in architectural review, budget and finance, legal, bylaws and arbitration, LEMIC, long-range planning, marketing, green space, and the 50th anniversary advisory group. What didn't you serve on? Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, and remember, come for a visit and stay for a lifestyle, okay?
Now it's time to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Name? And do I have a second?
I second, Gary Bender.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Let the record show that the 2024 annual meeting of the Galena Territory Association has been adjourned.